Alright, fuckers, welcome back to Artwod Beginner Roadmap, or as it's known now, Intro to Form, right? I'm not changing the title, but yeah, Intro to Form or Beginner Roadmap, right? Grind node specifically, right? The exercises they provide in between sections. Draw 20 multiple rounded boxes from imagination. Obviously, I'm doing something as you can see through the page. You should be fucking aware at this point. Even the thumbnail should make it very clear. It's something a bit more advanced, but I'm just min-maxing this, right? Why? Because multiple rounding and single rounding is a cornerstone of product design, mechanical design, hard surface, anything hard surface. So I watched a video by someone called Robert Laszlo Kiss, right? And he's a product designer, and I just watched a video he has, like how to design mech joints. So I'm gonna start trying to design joints, and we'll just go from there and just get like a fucking 100 reps in those, right? So this fucking lavalier mic is annoying me, and my hoodie is fucking around. But yeah, join me, draw along. You don't have to do it to the extent I'm doing it, but challenge yourself, right? Genuinely challenge yourself, and yeah, use this channel as an outlet for drawing. If you find that you have trouble drawing, I don't know what the fuck I'm trying to say, but yeah, just fucking join me, draw along, you piece of shit. All right, stop wasting time. Time is precious. Hey Takatin. Oh no, time is money. That was Gintama. I fucking almost hate Takatin to hate that. But yeah, let's just. And oh yeah, the other thing I'm doing is obviously. It's okay. So perspective error. Immediately, that was a perspective error, but it's okay because I wasn't thinking ahead, right? So thinking ahead is very important when it comes to art. Very important. Probably the most important. It's probably one of the quintessential art skills that you need to have is to be able to think ahead, right? And I'm also, I forgot to mention, I'm also drawing or practicing looking at this from another perspective. Like I'm literally visualizing and rotating in my mind from another perspective as I'm drawing it, because that should also aid greatly in the war effort. That's a Helldivers reference. I'm gonna stop with the fucking. No, I'm not actually. What am I saying? I'm never stopping with the references. But yeah, no, that should greatly aid. What the fuck am I saying? Greatly aid with the spatial reasoning, right? So yeah, I'm just trying to draw joints right now. Obviously, again, I didn't think ahead as much as I could have, so this isn't looking the most, because I think believable, right? Believability is an important part of artistic practices, also autistic practices. Nobody's gonna believe you're an autist if you don't act like one, so you should get to it. But that is what I'm aiming for, and again, always trying to. Well, that's not what I wanted to do, because again, I'm thinking about pivots and joints and pistons and all the words Robert Laszlo Kiss threw at me. Right? Again, the video is just called mech drawing, or mech. Just type in Robert Laszlo Kiss mech. It has something to do with how to draw mech joints, I believe, is what it was. But you'll notice that there's a lot more to it than meets the eye, much like Transformers. But I'm trying to think, because this doesn't really look like it's a. Yeah, this doesn't really look like it's a joint, right? And clearly, I have not made it convincing that it is one either. But again, I'm really trying to think about it from a different perspective. Let's see if it helps. Right. Okay, that does not need to be that big. That was a complete fuck up on my end. I tried turning that into a multiple rounding, but it didn't really work out. I'm just main goal right now is just curiosity, right? Trying to figure out what can be done. Well, this could still technically be a joint, right? I just need to figure out a way that, and this is the part where thinking about it in a different perspective really helps, because I can do something like this, right? And it's purely because I'm thinking about it from this, like I'm viewing it from this angle. And it is getting a lot easier, which is insane that I can literally draw something and think about it from a different angle while I'm drawing it, which is crazy to me, which is actually fucking crazy that these are trainable skills. But if you're as surprised as I am, I mean, there you go. It clearly can be done, right? It just requires inordinate amounts of effort, right? So once again, effort, everybody, right? Effort. As long as you're putting in effort, that's all that matters. It is, I will continue to say, it is the great equalizer to all endeavors. Okay, now see, I need to think about this perspective in a way that makes sense in terms of what I'm trying to do, right? It's interesting. I literally don't think I've accomplished much, but I'm getting quite a few people in the artwod Discord and even on the Broken Draw Discord being like, whoa, you're so creative. Kim Jong-il levels of creativity. I got somebody saying that, and somebody asking me how I came up with all these awesome designs, and I'm like, bro, I literally don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I'm just figuring it out. I'm just trying to figure things out, right? Again, this doesn't really look like a joint, and the perspective is off. Now I see the perspective is very off. This was actually pretty decently correct. Actually, was it? I don't know anymore. I just don't know. But again, trying to think about things in terms of a different perspective while I draw is helping. I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, this perspective is off. I almost just feel the need to add something here. But again, we have to think about what have I seen? Like literally what have I seen in just my quote unquote little moments of research. I've seen this quite a bit, right? And we can even do something like this. Maybe something like that, and turn that over that way. Right? That looks like something. Again, I'm just gonna let curiosity drive me, right? Curiosity being the main thing that drives me in these creations, and this is actually like an inverted multiple rounding, funny enough. I've created something that's going inside, right? So that's pretty cool. But yeah, I don't know, like if we're going to go by creativity is just, from my understanding and how I'm going to explain it, it's just about exploring multiple options, and then through your own understanding and intuition, through your own understanding and intuition, just deciding, right, based on what you personally ascribe aesthetics to, as well as what you've researched, things that look that fall along the lines of the aesthetics that you are enamored by. You start slowly through all this ideation and expanding all these ideas, right? Expanding the experimentation. You start zoning in on patterns that you like. This is purely for this type of ideation, but I'm sure it applies to a lot of any type of visual medium, artistic ideation, right? So that's just the way that I've been doing it, and it's been getting better and better, which is nice. But it's just that process. So I'm gonna try to recall this from memory now. We're still, and I can fix the perspective too, which is nice, right? But I need to be able to understand what it is that I'm drawing first. So let's see, I created like a bunch of shit here which didn't need to be there, but yeah, like this shape already could have been a lot better had I planned it a bit ahead, right? And recall is very difficult, don't get me wrong. Recall is extremely difficult, but I'm just trying to, and I made a lot of mistakes. Like this perspective is off. It's supposed to be this way and then this way, right? But you see how this is aligned? Like these two shapes are aligned, but then the outline I made was not, right? It wasn't. And that's because I wasn't seeing the box. This was actually a very intuitive drawing, which isn't good. I don't like intuition. I genuinely dislike intuition because I personally always want to be thinking, right? I personally always want to be thinking. That's difficult, obviously. I can't fucking think about every single thing. That's why the beauty of learning and intuition has its place. But as much as I can, I want to be thinking. But yeah, I'm just memorizing this while I'm talking. Don't mind me. But it's really important that I memorize this for myself. Okay, now we're going to cover it. And then I'm going to draw it again. But this time, let's do something like... that, right? And then I think it was something like this. And again, I'm trying to think about the box, and I'm trying to think about this from a different perspective as I draw it. Oh, lines didn't meet. I had a fucking feeling the lines didn't meet. It's fine. But he says sadly, but there's that. Oh no, that's already incorrect, but that's okay. We'll work around it, right? In this way. There you go. Yeah, we'll work around it. This is already incorrect, but it's okay. It's completely fine. And let's see, we have something like... And I can still make this work because... well, I'm trying to make it work. Right. Okay, now we can officially say it's gone to shit. Because I didn't think ahead. Right? Like now we can say, okay, like none of this really matters because... Fuck! I dropped the pen cap! Oh no, I have to reach so far. Jesus Christ, I hope that doesn't show my face. No, it doesn't. Okay, cool. Yeah. I know like so much of what I did wrong. Okay. But I need to try harder. That's what it is. I just need to try harder, think harder, take my time. So I'm going to rest my brain and then I'm going to create another shape and try practicing rotating that, right? So I'll be right back. I encourage you to rest your brain as well. See, but that's good because if the only bottleneck is the effort I put in, I can simply just try more. I can simply just think more, right? So that is what I'm trying to do, of course. Like that is genuinely what I'm giving a shot. And it has its difficulties, as does anything else, right? And I'm trying to be as I guess I'm trying to think as much as I can. There's no other way around it, right? I'm just trying to think as much as I possibly can and see where that takes me, right? Like I could do something like... right? And I'm just ideating here. Because again, we're trying to think about pistons, right? Trying to think about just how exactly we can make it all make sense. So with that in mind, it's also, again, I'm trying to draw this in my mind from a different angle than it currently is in, which also adds a layer of complexity because I'm trying to design and think at the same time about things that are difficult to think about. I don't know what the fuck I'm saying, but either way. Okay, and then what? We could do something like, okay, so if that is what I have decided upon, it's best to follow suit with a multiple rounding. Oh, that line was mediocre by all accounts. Now we just need to make sure that this doesn't, let's see. We can do something like, maybe like this. Nope, that was a fuck up. Just gonna have to ignore that. But that's good. Again, it's just allowing me to think, right? And the greatest thing I can allow myself right now is the ability to think about how these shapes. Because again, watching a video and being like, oh yes, of course, that is a hinge, that is a joint, yeah, quite, right? Very easy to do, by the way. Very easy to just watch something and be like, yes, I understand. It's extremely difficult to put it into practice, and that's why I keep saying that, like, again, if you're doing artwod, please, for your own sake, do fucking 10 times the repetitions they ask of you. And this isn't a knock on artwod, but they need to make money, right? So if they tell all the beginners that, hey, you're actually not gonna reach your goals if you don't put at least fucking 100,000 reps in, right, of intentional reps in per the fucking per like the tiny each section, right? Basically, if they say, hey, put in as much work, if not more, than what this dickhead, i.e. me, is doing, right, in order to achieve these fundamental skills, then they're gonna lose out on a giant customer base. You know, they're gonna lose out on a customer base that doesn't actually want to do the work, but just wants to feel as if that they've done something. And I understand. I completely understand, because that target audience is still pretty valuable, right? They're still relatively valuable in the sense that they're still wanting to try. So obviously they're pivoting away from quote unquote more hardcore individuals into people who are just like, I'm just doing art for fun, and even though their entire goal is obviously to be the draftsmanship, to be the draftsmanship fucking course, right? The draftsmanship center, essentially, right? The platform, right? I understand how they're trying to appease both, which is always difficult. I was just recalibrating there because I forgot to think about this in a different perspective. But now I'm slowly getting back. Oh, that was a fuck up. See, I was too impatient. But either way, this is how we learn, right? But yeah, I get it. They're trying to be like, okay, these courses are still going to be generally very useful for the more serious crowd, right? The roadmap is fucking phenomenal, i.e. why I'm doing it. But there's an implicit message. And I think that implicit message applies to anyone who wants to be excellent in anything, which is do more, right? You're not going to get anywhere by doing the amount that they ask of you. I'm telling you this right now. You're not going to improve. Like, dude, I was kind of chuckling to myself in a very condescending way to make sure that it felt as if I was superior. But I remember, like, in the roadmap, they have a roadmap channel on Discord, right? Someone's like, oh yeah, like I was having trouble with this thing, and somebody else was like, don't worry, once you do that grind node, once you do those 20 reps, you really feel it a lot more. And I'm like, I kind of just smiled to myself, like 20 reps is fucking, in my language, jujubi, right? In the Tamil language, jujubi. I think that, I'm pretty sure that's, I don't know if that I don't think that's common. I don't think any other language says that. But the point being, right, what that basically means is that's fucking nothing, right? That's literally a joke, you know. And that applies, again, to every single skill learning. I want to make it very clear. This isn't just applicable to art, right? It's applicable to literally all other skills, in that you should always be aiming to try your hardest And you should see that was a fucked up cylinder. I need to work on my ellipses behind ellipses. That's my biggest one of my really big weaknesses. So it's obviously something I need to be practicing more. But again, right, like the point is that you never want to be doing the repetitions that's required. You should be exceeding them by a hilarious amount, right? You want to be the person where they're just like, oh, what the fuck? They're why are they doing so much? And they're doing so much because they literally love it and they want to improve drastically, and they just want to see how far they can push themselves, right? They being me, of course, because I am the god I'm referring to in this context. But yeah, guys, 20 reps ain't shit. Let's make that very clear, right? Not in a mean way, by the way. 20 reps is very, very, very good. Okay? It is very worthwhile because those 20 reps are the first of 200 reps, right? I'm not saying the repetitions are not worth it. I'm simply stating that do not feel as if you've accomplished anything by doing it for 20 reps. When you go to the gym, you do 20 reps for one day total. Are you like, wow, yeah, I'm going to be jacked? Or are you thinking, okay, well, here's to another 5 years of this, and then we'll see what, damn, these lines are horrible, what muscular bases I build, right? Same shit. Same shit. And then, okay, this is not really a hinge, I don't think. Well, I guess I could fix this when I draw it from the other side. But I'm just trying to think. Let's see, already my shapes are looking more interesting just because I watched a couple things on hinges. Like, I watched this guy's video and I try to understand it, right? It really doesn't look incredible at all, let's be clear, but it's just about trying to recall and trying to understand. And as I'm drawing this, I'm trying to understand exactly what it would look like in a different perspective as well, right? And I think that's why it's important for me to draw it in that different perspective. That's actually pretty cool. I didn't mean to, but I end up connecting these two. So I guess that could work out as well. I'm going to leave the shape as it is. I'm going to rest my brain, and then we're going to analyze this and then draw it from memory. And I'm really going to do my best because it's important. It's really important. It's really, say it really one more time, you piece of shit. Anyways, that faggotry aside, I will rest my brain. BRB to the G. PP? I don't fucking know, bro. I don't know what the fuck am I saying? Just hashtag Viggy channel, Viggy famming everywhere, right? God damn it. Anyways, and you rest your brain as well. All right, wonderful. What a good resting. I've rested so hard, I'm nutting everywhere. Anyways, let's see. Okay, so it's not a bad shape. I just need to keep experimenting, clearly. I think that's the main thing, right? Keep experimenting. I want to try another version of this to see where it goes. But, okay, let's memorize this. And memorizing it really just comes down to seeing it from the angle that I want to draw it in. I think that's honestly how I need to memorize it, is literally see it in the angle that I want to draw it from. You know what I mean? Because, yeah, something like that. And then already I'm getting the, yeah, see, I think literally drawing it in that different angle while while I'm doing this is going to help quite a bit. Okay. All right, let's see how it goes, right? It's still gonna be very difficult, don't get me wrong, but I need to keep hammering it in. You know, I need to keep understanding what I'm drawing and the shapes that I'm drawing, and the only way to do that is to see it from a different perspective in my mind's eye while I'm looking at this. That's another thing. I think a big thing is, if spatial reasoning is the end-all be-all of form and is like fucking 70% of good representational art, right? Which is how realistic something is in the space it occupies. So the responsibility on us is to understand space as well as we can, right? So another thing I'm adding is while drawing, think about it from a different angle, but then while I'm looking at it as well, just like anytime I look at anything I'm drawing, whether it's while I'm drawing it or when I'm taking a break, is to think about it from a different angle. Right. Again, I don't think anything I'm saying is new. I'm sure many people have come to this conclusion prior to me. Easily thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, if not millions. Like any proficient artist who's good at spatial reasoning has probably come to this conclusion. But I'm documenting this, right? This is my documentation. So these insights I have that you may not have had and are valuable, like please implement them, right? In whichever way that you can, particular to you. But the end goal is think fucking hard and really spatially reason in as many ways as you can and apply, right? That's really all it is. So if you're not thinking, you're not drawing, to be honest. If you're not thinking, you are not drawing. It's just some very bold statement I'm gonna make. It's not even fucking bold, it's literally brain dead obvious. But yeah, if you're not thinking, you're not drawing. Okay. And if you say, like, what about people who do freeform drawing and intuition? Yeah, well, of course that exists, but then they're just loose automatic drawing and they're ideating, they're coming up with ideas. But in terms of purely getting better, right, I'm gonna be rigid in this until and unless fucking 50 years down the line I'm like, actually that one thing I said, well, there's so much nuance to it, because obviously I'll be so much more fucking advanced that everything has nuance, and I'll probably just say, just draw for fun, guys, like fucking I do now when I lift and people ask me for advice and I'm like, hey, just find what works for you, eat big, lift big, sleep big. But no, this is the beginner journey, so there is nuance, sure, but there's also rigidity and structure that is essential to greatness. Anyways, okay, let me cover that, and let's get started immediately on what I understand, right? So what do I understand? I understand this. There you go. I understand that, right? I understand this. I could possibly even understand this. I'm busy, not right now. Not right now, thank you. I'm glad people knock. It's a lost art. But yeah, I understand this. Right. And I'm changing this, but I do understand it. But first, before we do that, let's do this. Wait. We need to establish our box here. There you go. It's like that, right? And again, I'm thinking about what it looked like in the other way. So I'm thinking about the perspective that I drew, and then I'm thinking about the perspective that I'm drawing in. I'm also obviously acknowledging that that is a horrible cylinder. And obviously now I'm understanding, and I'm acknowledging, this is the best part, that this is too sticking out too much, and this is actually too small, right? That's great. The fact that I can acknowledge this is a plus, right? Let's see, something like that. Okay, so that's already too big, or too small. It would have been a lot better, actually. It would have been much better. Oh, wait. And then we actually got it like this. Right, so we need something like this to extend all the way. And again, I'm really trying to remember this as I draw it, guys and girls, right? But this is a male space. This is a safe space for men, where we can talk about all the gay jokes without being judged for actually being gay, while secretly still being gay, but pretending like we're not, right? But if there are any women here, please like, subscribe, and repeal the 19th. God, Viggy, you're so funny. I know, Viggy. I know you're so funny, Viggy. Holy shit, this guy's a fucking hilarious genius. Okay, what did this area look like? Was it like, if I know me, I always do some fucking basic shit like this, right? It's almost... Oh, wait. I fucked it up, but it's okay. We can't take it back now, but I'm sure that there was more to this. Okay, so there's that. I don't really think we see anything from the other side. Let's see. I know there's a lot more. Okay, so clearly there was a lot more. And I fucking forgot to the end. So we got this right. But again, it's... And then we got this attachment thing right. And we got this right, but I didn't add this. So there should have been an entire thing here that I didn't add, right? The size is too small, so that's another thing. Not in terms of the width, but this entire section should have been a decent, like 30% larger, 20 to 30% larger, right? And this is too small, but that's good. Okay, we're learning, and that feels amazing, right? The fact that I was able to even try that feels pretty fucking good. So I want to try something else now. Let's try something like... And again, I want to be very clear. I'm still thinking about joints as much as I can, right? And I'm still thinking about this in a different perspective as much as I can. There you go. See? That's how we can have slight differences, right? Now I want to do something like this. By the way, if you're wondering what perspective this is in, this is the perspective it's in. You see? You see how you can just get better when you think about things in alternate manners? But yeah, that's the perspective I'm drawing this in. And obviously I am rounding it. It's not perfect, by the way. This actually could be a lot better. Never mind, I take it back, I'm garbage. But this is how we improve, right? See, I need to work on keeping those ellipses. The degree of the ellipses needs to be wider, and that's something I struggle with. Did I just draw a dick? What the fuck? That was not intentional, and yet it's quite humorous. Not unlike the bone, the humerus. That doesn't make any sense, but we're just gonna pretend like it does. Right, okay, well I was trying to do like a joint pivot thing, and the only thing I need to pivot is my fucking life, clearly, out of this channel. But we're trying. There you go. So yeah, mistakes will happen. Right, and let me do something like this, because we haven't forgotten about multiple rounding. No siree, we have not forgotten about multiple fucking rounding. See, let's make this nice and thicker. There you go, that's too thick on the other side, so we have to be aware of that. Okay, so in what universe can this be considered a hinge or a pivot? In this universe where I do this. Let's see. Can I do something like this? Right? Let's just do something like... Okay. And I think I need to have a really thin cylinder, like so. There you go. Again, kind of overlapping. So that's a mistake, and we're gonna have to acknowledge that as a mistake, of course, but it's okay, because your birth was also a mistake, and yet here we are. I think I made that joke before. Fuck, it didn't land then, it won't land now. Right? And let's see, maybe I can do something like that. It doesn't really work. Doesn't really work at all. Okay, well, we tried with that shape, right? So I'm gonna rest my brain. I'm gonna keep ideating. Again, the most important thing about learning is no judgment, right? The only expectation you should ever have for yourself is that you're trying. Also, I can give myself shit because I didn't imagine this from a different perspective while I was drawing. It's just a habit that I'm getting into. Just like before, like I wasn't imagining the box as much as I wanted to, right? So I'm gonna rest my brain and we're gonna keep trying that again, right? And when we get the opportunity to, because we feel that design, I don't know why I keep saying we. It makes you fuckers feel involved, I guess. Right? Look at us, we're a family. Hashtag Viggy. Oh, actually, well, we are hashtag Viggy fam. So I guess I have to really internalize that now. Oh God, I have to take care of children. I'm only 28. Anyways, let me rest my brain. I just took note of the fact that it's probably incorrect of me to assume that you're all children, right? Perhaps we have a genuine unk in our midst. Midst. Also, I think I touched the fucking tripod by accident. Did that fix it? I think that fixed it. Yeah, I touched it by accident, the wheel. But yes, I think there has to be at least like 150-year-old watching these videos, 150 to 60-year-old, right? Most of you are, from what I understand, 25 to 30, right? That's the demographic that I apparently target. But I don't fucking know what I'm trying to say. Anyways, but yeah, it's pretty cool that. Hold up, shut the fuck up. There you go, and then we can do something like this. Slow and steady wins the race. Oh God, he's fucking it up. He's fucking it up. Oh, he still did it. Wonderful. He's a god. Never mind. He never fucks anything up. Okay. So we got that, right? Now, where can we go from there? Because I actually don't even think I meant to do that. I was thinking of something else. Okay, let's try that again. Let's put the box in perspective because I literally stopped thinking about the box, which is not good. We always want to be thinking about the box as much as we can. See, this is where I can foreshorten a little bit. And let's see, we can do something like ta-da! But yeah, guys, there's no creativity here. I just want to be very transparent in that regard. It's just trying to figure things out, right? It just so happens what I'm figuring out seems to be impressive, but truly, it's just a matter of me trying to ideate, see ahead, right? It's very difficult, again. Now, there's a lot of ways I think this can be done, that I can take this, maybe even up the ass actually, but we'll see. Right now, I'm just gonna focus on drawing it and visualizing it from a different perspective. Because you have to remember, now I'm starting to think about functionality, right? And I just barely started designing things that look somewhat interesting. But I'm adding another challenge, as you know, I love to do, and you should continue to embody that in your own way as well. But I'm adding another challenge to the practice, which is what can we do? What can be done to make this more difficult? So I'm already thinking of this inside the box. I'm already adding angles and all that shit inside the box, right? I'm already thinking of it from a different perspective inside the box while drawing it, right? Think of it in a different perspective while drawing it. And I'm trying to design, right? So like 6, 7 things that was just mentioned, right? Pretty sure I just doubled it by twice the amount. Creatures reference, right? Good old excommunicated. Oh, I missed them. Sly, Alex, Seamus. Why? Actually, it was James Seamus and now Sly, but still, right? I'm a hardcore fan. But anyways, but now I think the main thing up on top of everything I just mentioned is now thinking about functionality, right? Like, how does it actually make sense? And the thing is, it can only function as well as I understand function, right? It can only function as well as I understand what that means. So this is why we have to sort of continue to ideate and think about what all of this could be. Not is, but could be. Right? I don't even know what I'm making here, to be honest. I'm still trying to think of a piston or some shit. But I don't know. It doesn't really none of it really makes sense to me. And this perspective is off now that I look at it. Right? Because, yeah, it's just not good. But if I try to think about, okay, like what other multiple roundings could I be adding? Right? Could I add... Because I want to think about it in terms of functionality. That's the main thing. I want to think about it in terms of functionality, right? So the main question for me is, why don't I add something like that? And now that may not seem like much right now, but I am trying to create complexity and let's just vaguely use the term design, because obviously my ability to design is nothing special, right? We can be objective about that. It doesn't need to be like a fucking we're all special type of shit, right? It's just not that good, and I'm just thinking out loud. And I'm already aware that this doesn't look that good, but I'm going to finish it because it's important to know exactly why it doesn't look that good, right? I think actually the main reason, right, Roy, what accent, Roy, main reason, Roy, is the perspective is actually pretty off. It was good, but again, I wasn't thinking, because I was actually thinking about this, but like funny enough, now that I am thinking about this in the different angle, the perspective is suffering a little bit. And that's kind of funny to think about, how me just actually doing the thing that's more difficult is causing it to be worse. Know what I mean? But again, that is okay, because that just means that, again, I have more opportunities for my spatial reasoning to get better. So yeah. And it's not like I'm perfect either. I am magnificent, but I'm not perfect. So again, we have this coming over, coming around. And clearly I don't even understand the shape I'm drawing as well either. Right? The hard surfaceness of it is nothing impressive. And I forgot the diagonal clearly just as I fucking remembered it now, but again, I'm trying to also think about this from a different angle. I will keep reiterating the same points over and over and over, because it's important for you to know exactly what I'm consistently thinking about, right? That's just my belief. It's important for you to be aware of, okay, 15 years from when this video comes out, what was he thinking? You know, what was he doing to get so good? The answer is a very boring, fucking basic, simple, yet effective answer. Oh, he was just consistently thinking about the perspective in as many ways as he could, right? Wow. Oh my god, the answer was just really good understanding of space? Holy shit, who would have fucking... And you're telling me it just takes consistent work and challenging yourself? Wow, who would have thought? But I get it. A lot of you will want to know, okay, but how do I challenge myself? What can be done? I'm telling you right now, it's simply a matter of whatever you stick to one thing and just min-max it. For you youngins who are fucking watching this 5-10 years from now and like, what does that mean? I don't know what min-maxing means. That just means to fucking... it means that. So I hope that makes sense. But no, min-maxing just means to essentially exhaust all possibilities and to just max out. It basically just means to like completely max out the thing you're doing. So if you're gonna min-max soccer, you're gonna fucking get amazing at dribbles, like again, it's just about fucking getting the fundamentals down. That's all I mean by min-maxing is just, dude, fucking have the most amazing fundamentals. Because as you're doing that, everything else just becomes super fucking easy. Okay, I think I'm done with this. It's an okay shape. It doesn't really make much sense. I'm gonna leave it at that, right? I'm gonna rest my brain. I think a couple things I do like. I like that I'm adding these little things, but this shape has merit. Don't get me wrong. I think there's actually like some cool things that could be happening here. I just don't know what they are. But I'm gonna rest my brain. But yeah, I guess let me just finish the point I was making. Min-max. What do I mean by that? Yeah, take one concept. Like, for example, if you go back 15 parts to this specific episode, right? This is probably part 64 or some shit, 63, 61, something like that, whatever. If you go back, just go back 15 episodes, because I'm on single, you'll see that, oh shit, he was still on rounding? Why is he still doing rounding? Go back 10 more episodes, and you're like, oh, okay, he was doing something prior. But you'll notice that my approach, let's just say like 3 months prior or like 4 months prior to when this video is coming out or whatever, you'll notice my approach is just, I took the advice of some artists and some consistent patterns in their advice I was seeing, which is just do one thing for a very long time, right? And for them, they probably mean like a few weeks, a month. But I hope you're aware by now that I will take things to extremes in order to become an extreme variant of what is capable, right? In that sense. So I took that to the extreme. I was like, okay, that just means I need to spend as much time as I fucking want to until I feel as if I've really gotten this concept down. So something as simple, quote unquote simple, by the way, like I'm very well aware that doing this and then adding 2 points on each side that are equal in perspective and then rounding them, right? I'm very well aware that even though this was a horrible example, see, it's not simple. It's not easy. It's simple. The concept is simple, but it's not easy. But you'll see that, like, okay, with single rounding, he literally spent fucking 14 hours. He did that. Then he did multiple rounding, and now he spent like fucking 10 hours on that. And now he's just doing multiple rounding designs and single rounding combination designs, right, from imagination. And now he's like thinking of all these different things. But it didn't start like that, right? It didn't start like with me coming up with random shit and then experimenting. It started with me just being like, okay, I'm just gonna learn and understand single rounding as well as I can. And then I moved on from there, right? The caveat is when I started this channel, I already had around 3 hours of single rounding practice and 2 to 3 hours of multiple rounding practice, maybe 5 max for each, right? You might think that's not much, but as you can see, I practice very fucking intently. So just think maximum 5 intentional, focused, dedicated hours with utilizing the spacing effect, with thinking about spatial reasoning, blah, 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 with literally visualizing the fucking box or the plane, because I don't like underdrawings. Not because I think they're cheap, but because I want to see the underdrawing, right? That's why I use only pen. But I trained all of this. But yeah, that's all I'm trying to say is train like a fucking athlete, right? Train your mind, because your mind is what's going to create the images, right? Kyle Kapinski got a stroke and he's back to fucking drawing like a god in 6 months. I'm sure he sees so much more nuance that he could achieve with his previous motor skills than what he has now. But the point stands, his mind had already done all the work for 30 years before his hand just fucking spazzed out, got a stroke, and he's like, okay, let's just rebuild the motor skills. Lo and behold, the fine motor skills took fucking 6 months to build, to the, even the beginner or the intermediate's eye as, wow, that's very incredibly proficient. All that to say, min-max. Find a concept you're weak in, go ballistic in it, and this is where it turns into creativity, is what I'm doing, and it seems to work very, very well. So, stop being gay and start being homophobic instead. Toward gays, specifically dolphins, because they can be gay. That's me trying to backpedal out of the statement I just made, right? Because I've realized in this day and age, that doesn't even fly as a joke. Thankfully, pigs can't fly, so I'll be safe. Okay, anyways, how do I want to do this? I want to think about, okay, well, it seems like the pattern is I'm going to start with, because joints are all based on the cylinders, right? So if I take my thinking and I think out loud, right? Let's just say I'm thinking out loud, right? Joints are all based on cylindrical shapes because obviously that's what allows rotation, right? Whether it's a hinge, right? Whether it's something going like this or whether it's something going like this, right? There are hinges and pivots that allow for that. So perhaps it is simply about designing around that. And that's the shape that needs to be interesting. Perhaps. I'm just fucking estimating here, right? And maybe again, I think that's a mistake. I don't think that needs to exist, but it does now, so it's too late, right? And again, I'm trying to think about this from a different perspective as well. So let's see. Right? Okay, that's not the best. But again, we could just add another cylinder here. As you can see, my lines do go to shit quite often, right? And that's fine. That's literally part of it. Just for the fucking most shallow reason, let me just add some multiple rounding. At this point, I need to focus more on the multiple rounding as well. This is just fucking stupid ass shapes now. And again, you might notice like he speaks he speaks so abrasively of his own work, right? But then he says to have a positive mindset. That's because that's just how I speak. It is not indicative of my mindset whatsoever. I'll say that much, right? You have the liberty. I have the liberty to be like, wow, this all looks like ass. But internally, I've trained myself to be like, this is amazing. I'm making so many mistakes. You see the disparity, or the discrepancy, or whatever the fuck, whatever word I'm trying to come up with. But let's see. So it's all based on a hinge, right? So the hinge is where things are surrounded by. Maybe something like that, right? And again, it can be relatively, I think, simple to a degree, right? And I guess you could also say that I'm just kind of making a clip right now. It does look like a clip of sorts, right? Okay, and then it comes out here, and then we just have a little bit. And again, really, really bad lines, right? Whatever, sure. Okay, see? And then I can add rounding here. See, and then just for the past 30 seconds, I wasn't thinking about it from a different perspective. So I'm trying to fix that as I draw these lines. And while I'm drawing these lines, I'm trying to think about what it'd look like from a different perspective. So we could end it right there and be like, okay, hinge-like shape, whatever, right? We can see that this thing would, like on this axis, it would be like that. It would be able to move like that. There would be maybe limitations. Maybe we wouldn't just be able to spin it. It seems like, oh, look, see, that stops it. Maybe, right? Maybe that's something that stops it from, and it just stops like that, right? I didn't even mean to do that, by the way, but it just ended up happening because I'm God. But we're not gonna stop right there because it's all about pushing ourselves, right? So I'm gonna try something very, very, very different. And it's gonna involve a multiple rounded cylinder. And we're gonna see where it goes. And it could go horribly, or it could go very well. That's it. That was all I wanted to do. I know I made it sound so intense, but that's literally all I wanted to do. And there's obviously a bit of form blending here, right? This is called form intersections. Technically, this could be an addition, right? That's all I wanted to do. I just wanted to see what that would look like. I had something else, maybe a bit more intricate in mind, but again, my ellipses do need work. Trust me, my ellipses need a lot of work, right? That's not a bad shape. That's not a bad shape at all, right? I could actually try to draw it from imagination or from memory. I think that's a shape I'm willing to try and practice drawing from memory. So let me analyze it. Let's, to the best of my ability, let's really try to analyze this, right? I guess the shapes I'm making are getting more complicated, which is interesting, but let's see. Because it is pretty simple. You know, we can attest to the fact that it's relatively simple. This doesn't make any sense. I'm well aware that this doesn't make any sense. It could have made sense if I actually extended this a bit outward, like so, but I didn't, so it doesn't make sense, right? It doesn't look like, it looks like part of it is jutting out, you know? But that's just what it is, right? Just trying to think. Yeah, let me just analyze this. What the fuck am I even thinking for? Let's just analyze this. God damn it, this is more talking than drawing, which I'm sure the audio, the podcast listeners love. I don't have a podcast. There's no. This is the fucking shittiest, most retarded podcast in the world. Just listen to man mumble to himself while he draws. I mean, if mumble rap is a thing, maybe mumble drawing can be a thing as well. Pioneering genres, one step at a time, right? There you go. So I just have to think about how this is actually being intersected out. But honestly, it could just be going through and then coming out like that, right? Yeah, it could, that could be it actually. If that's, I could approach it like that. But again, I have to look at this from the alternate perspective. So I have to rotate this in my mind as I'm looking at it. So again, let me just speak out loud. I am rotating this like so, right, in my mind. That means we're going to be looking at it from this angle, or like maybe from that angle, right? But that's what I'm doing. I'm rotating this. I'm just turning it that way in my mind, and I'm consistently trying to do that. And I'm trying to think about what the other side would look like as I'm staring at it. So there's many things going on, which is why drawing from memory is very difficult. I am analyzing the shapes of the forms and the different angle cutouts that have all occurred, like every single deviation and angle cutout, right? All the different intersections going on, what that shape is initially, right? Everything. I'm analyzing all of that to the best of my ability, and I'm rotating it in my mind, right? To essentially create the unknown, which is the backside of this, in my mind, right? And also proportion, which is a huge thing. So I'm doing my best to also think about proportion as well, right? So again, I hope it's very clear how difficult this stuff is. I don't even think this line makes sense. I don't think I need to add this line. So clearly I don't even understand what I'm drawing as well as I would like to, which is, you know, it's not the best thing. But he says confidently, we got this. I got this. What the fuck? You don't got this. I got this. But you, whatever you're doing, you got. But you don't got this specifically, because I'm the one doing it. Let's see. I'm not trying to pad, but I'm not trying to pad for time. I swear, I'm literally just analyzing the shit out of it and trying my best to understand what I'm looking at. And again, sense of urgency, right? The more you tell your brain, I want this to be learned, I want this to be learned, it will literally, apparently, the chemicals are just like, okay, let's do it, hui hui. So we'll have to see if that's true or if all that hui huiing is just for show. But okay. Okay, let's just do it from memory. We cannot keep stalling. Okay, let's see what we remember. So again, I like doing it from that angle because it's a difficult angle and it's going to teach me who I am, really, who I was meant to be. There you go. Okay, this doesn't really make sense, but we're going to add it anyways. Like that, right? And then it was like right here. And then it was what happened? The shape I drew, it went around it, did it not? Yeah, except, was it like this? No. It was like, let's see. It was, I think it was like that. Right, and then we have, something like that, right? Right, and then we have, what else do we have? What the fuck else do we have? Oof, see, this is so difficult, right? And again, I'm really trying to remember. Trust me when I say I'm not just fucking around. Like, I'm genuinely trying to remember. But you see, once you put it away, it's hard. There was something like that, and then we had maybe something like this. It went down. I know there was actually a diagonal, which I should have added, but oh, okay. So I think I know that I can say confidently that there was something like, oh wait, this should have been a bit more down, whatever. Something like, that thing that was sticking out. Can't forget about the thing that was sticking out. Let me just, to really illustrate that it's, yeah, there you go. Oh wait, but I should have made it a bit more awkward. I should have made it larger too. Let's see. That's incorrect. We're just gonna leave it at that. My brain is hurting. Let's see. Okay. And what else did we have here? Oh, see, it's not even fucking centered because I didn't center it. I'm just trying to think. And then there was something like, it wasn't like that. It was not like that at all. But, you know, for the sake of fucking, something like that. This is super wrong. This is so fucking wrong. This is so wrong. Yeah, see? Okay, so it was cut out in the top, which I completely forgot. This shape I forgot. I got this, but I forgot. Like, everything is just off. Everything is just off. That's good. See, I could choose to be like, oh, I'm shit, but I know that these mistakes are important, right? And I genuinely was trying. I know it consistently looks like this guy is not fucking trying to remember, but I actually am. That's the funny part. I actually am trying to remember, but it's complex. It's complex, and we have to take it one step at a time, right? At least the proportions were decent, right? Let's see. Okay, it's been an hour and 3 minutes. I'm literally just gonna take a break for 20 minutes, and then I'll come back and come on your back, and we'll see where that goes, right? I'm not filing any restraining orders because I did nothing wrong. Anyways, the fuck? Oh yeah, I hope you had fun. I was like, what's my outro? What do I usually say at this point? So yeah, I hope you had fun. Ooh, right? Like, I mean, I genuinely hope you had fun. You know, I do hope that you tried your best, that you focused on the efforts, just like I did, because I am just focusing on the effort. I think I need to focus on the effort more when I do these, right? Again, you could always do better, right? We could always try harder, and perhaps I'm giving myself maybe a bit more, or I'm not giving myself enough slack, but that's pussy shit. I have untalked myself into what I was going to talk myself into. No, I think I did fine. I think I put a good amount of effort. I was figuring things out, right? again, I genuinely do think I could put more effort into the memory drawing stuff, but I'm just gonna keep trying my best, and we'll see where that goes. Right? Am I getting worse at memory drawing, or are the shapes getting more complex to memory draw? Right? I don't know. I don't know, but the only thing I do know is that I'm gonna keep trying and keep fucking shoving as many intentional reps as I can into this until the answer is simply I can memory draw, right? That's just what the inevitability is. So however many reps I think I need to put into this, I need to put 10 times more. That's actually one of my thumbnails. One of my previous thumbnails that should be out in the next few days. But I'm slowly building my backlog again now that this artwod fuckery is out of the way. Thank you, artwod, but seriously, you guys fucked my schedule up with these shorts. Took fucking an hour and a half, 2 hours of my time for what, 3 minutes for some cunts to fucking be like, I don't get it, is this good? Pain. Well, hopefully my finale video, if there's any video you should watch, it's my the best beginner exercises finale. It tells you how I approach art. It tells you exactly what I think, right? And like how I got here. And if by the end of it you're at least not like, wow, this is actually a very good approach, you're fucking retarded. Simple as that. You can disagree with the approach and be like, I personally don't like it, but objectively it is a fucking stellar approach to learning art. But I don't know, I'm just creating a false audience to yell at here. Nobody said anything negative thus far. I've actually had very positive outcomes in terms of or feedback. What the fuck am I saying? I'm going on a rant. Anyways, I hope you had fun. I hope you tried. I hope you had a good time, right? Focus on the effort and the errors, right? And that's all that matters. The process. Anyways, as always, fuck you for watching. Keep drawing, and please, money.